Hi guys, Angie Bell with My Fairy Treasures. Okay, you guys, I'm back with another video on my altered book. So, I've taken a book and we're doing all of our work in a regular book that's a book that has signatures that has been sewn. So, and take out a few pages so that it doesn't get too bulky. Well, these kind of books do get bulky, but you want them bulky. You want them to almost stand up. When they stand up, the pages just flare out, and it almost looks like a piece of sculpture when you're done. So that's how I will display mine. It's like a piece of sculpture in my craft room. So don't try to make these flat. They're not going to be flat, and you don't want them to be flat. Okay. So what I did is I'm calling this a twofer. Okay, I'm doing 2 different pages at one time. For one, it's a little bit of a challenge, but it's also fun. Like, it's double the fun. You're getting double pages done, double the fun. So it's 2 different pages. So this is a really pretty pastel-y, flowery picture here. Background, and then I did some magazine cutouts, some magazine collage bits that I collaged together. Some three roses with a clock on top with the watch face. And then this was a picture of some, what is this? Oh my God, my brain sometimes. Okay. It's not hitting me right now. Mannequins, like some mannequins with some really like vintagey clothes on them. So anyway, I collaged all that together as my focal point. Okay, and over here I did more of a steampunky type of page, and I've always had this old trunk that I've always wanted to use. So I did this trunk. I love this zebra, so I collaged this together and some type of a disc. And in the background, I did some really cool stuff in the background too. So, but the first thing we have to do is we have to first do the very background. So we're going to start there on the next page, and we're going to work both these pages. I'm going to redo them again. But of course, I don't have these same focal points, and even the backgrounds, I'm going to use the same techniques, but of course, it's not going to turn out exactly the same. So it'll be cool. It'll be similar, but not the same. But the techniques will be the same. Okay? So this is the kind of feeling we're going for on the next 2 pages. Okay, so I'm going to turn my page. And, oh, before I do that, let's put some wax paper in so that we can protect our pages. And so it's never going to lay flat, of course, but let me use a one of these clamps on this page so it can lay as flat as possible. Oh, if that's going to work there or not. All right, and after we're going to start with some collage bits, and when I get to that, I'll move that over a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to take 2 pages and glue 2 pages together. 2 pages are already glued together on this one because I have artwork that I already done on this page, so there's already 2 pages glued together. So it's good to glue 2 pages together so that you have a nice base to work off of. Okay. Let me make sure, you guys, I'm still in frame. Yeah. Okay. So, let me see if I move my book over if I'll still be doing well there. Yeah. Good. Okay. So, let's first start by gluing. Let me get my blue brush out. Let's start by gluing these two pages together on this side with my homemade matte Mod Podge. You can use matte medium. I make my own homemade matte Mod Podge. You can buy some matte Mod Podge, however you want to do it. Okay, so let's glue these together really quickly. I don't know why, but I enjoy working out of a altered book rather than buying a book at, like, you know, Michael's or the art supply place for my mixed media. I don't know why. I just think it's more fun. Seems like there's more soul to find yourself an old used book and to make that into your altered book, your altered art journal. Okay. Okay. So now we have two good bases to work off of on both sides. Bam. Let me just get my baby wipe out to keep my hands clean. Or somewhat clean. Okay. A mixed media person's best friend. Baby wipes. They keep your hands clean and you can do techniques with them. Okay. So let's get started. We're going to start on this side. We're going to do the more pastel-y page. So let's start by that. So, oh, let me talk about what I'm using. Okay, so I collected a bunch of stuff. These are all scrapbook paper, is what I'm going to use on this other side. A lot of times I use book pages and music notes, but I'm going to use all scrapbook paper on this side. I might throw in a couple of book pages. I will throw in a couple of book pages. We'll throw a couple of those in. And plus I have some handwriting too. But anyway, these are just pieces of beautiful scrapbook paper. This was some Jane Davenport scrapbook paper, which is gorgeous. Just different pieces. All pastel-y. Okay. And I have a napkin I'm going to use too. Okay. So let's begin. We'll start with this. I like this flower. All right, let's begin. And this is the part that I love all of it, but I just love pasting paper down. It's so relaxing. There's not a ton of decisions to make. It's just relaxing. You're getting to use your beautiful papers. Oh, and that's another thing. Don't be afraid to take your scrapbook paper and rip it to shreds for your mixed media. We have, most of us, crafters or mixed media artists, we have so much damn scrapbook paper, and it's just going to waste. And if you think about it, don't hoard it. Go ahead and rip some of it up, because, and use it in your mixed media, because then you're using it. So you still own it, you still have it, but now you've used it. So that's how I began to look at it. Okay, this is that butterfly napkin. I think this napkin is gorgeous. And you guys, I've used these napkins up so much. I'm down to my last two napkins. So what I'm going to do is make a color copy of it so that I still have it. Because I love it. I think I got it at Tuesday morning. I wish I would have bought 3 or 4 packs of those butterfly napkins. I have used them so much. Okay, here's another pretty one. We'll use this right here. And don't think about it. Just paste stuff down. Just go for it. Because the more haphazard you do it, the better it's going to look. And that's why I love mixed media too, because you're just mixing it all up. I think it's beautiful. It's just like when you mix people all up. You're friends with all different types of people, all colors of people, all types of people. And it makes beautiful artwork, and it makes beautiful friendships and beautiful people. That's what I think. Okay. And then I love this Jane Davenport piece here. In fact, you know, I'm going to have to remove my thing for a little bit. Okay. And then let's do a little bit of book note pages here. Put that right there. And these book pages have been coffee stained. And what you do, that is so easy, you guys. All you do is, if you want to copy stain some book pages, you just, I make some coffee pretty dark, and I take a cookie sheet, and I pour the coffee into the cookie sheet, and then I just take a bunch of book note pages and just start dipping them in there, and then throwing them on another cookie sheet, a plain cookie sheet that has no coffee in it. and just pile them up on there and then bake them in the oven on like, I don't know, 200 for maybe 5 or 6 minutes. Just watch it. And it makes the most beautiful paper like that. So the only rule I have for myself when I do this kind of work like this is just making sure that I don't put the samey by each other. You know, you want just everything to be very patchwork. Like Dolly Parton, the coat of many colors. I don't know if you guys know that about me, but I'm a huge Dolly Parton fan. I'm not a huge country fan. No, I'm not. I like R&B. But I love Dolly Parton. And so because I love her music, and I love her spirit. That's what I love about her. I love her spirit. She's just the best person. She's just a beautiful human being. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, which most people do, just listen to her someday. She is just the sweetest thing. So positive. Just a beautiful person. Wouldn't hurt a fly. She's all about peace and love. I absolutely love her. Okay, so just keep going. See all these beautiful, colorful pieces? What we're going to do, let me just check. I really hope I'm still on. Okay, I am. We're going to let this dry. And then after it dries, we're going to come back and we're going to do a very light coating of gesso. Okay, I have this napkin that's like a rose. I'm going to split the rose in half because it's kind of too big. And I'm going to put that right here. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Nothing more beautiful in my opinion than roses and butterflies. Okay, is this all? Okay, I need to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and just get the rest of this paper mop or paste it down with some glue so we can start putting our collage bits right down. Okay. Ooh, let's do some butterflies right next to that. That'll be pretty. Gorgeous. And then I feel like we definitely need some text now. So see, it's just a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And this breaks that blank page. I hear a lot of people always like they just don't know what to do. Well, start with putting your collage bits down. Okay? Whether it's this or it's just a bunch of because most of the time what I like to start with is I just automatically start with music notes, book paper, matte pieces, just all kinds of black and white stuff. And that gives you that starts making you bond with your art. It starts letting you think about what you want to do, or maybe you already have an idea, but it gets you going. Now, I do admit, I usually know where I'm going. Not that it turns out perfectly, my thought, or my idea. I mean, it really turns out perfectly what the idea that I originally had. But I usually do have a plan, just because I'm that type of person. I like to have a plan. So I usually have a plan. And then, of course, it changes as I go along, which is great. But if you don't have a plan, start out with just some book pages, which is what we're going to do on this page here. Some book pages, maybe some torn up map paper that you can get like at Michael's in the bulk section. I have this. This is an Asian newspaper. Isn't that cool, you guys? So just like all that kind of stuff. And it can really get you going and break that blank page. Now you automatically have yourself a background, you know? You can add some paint, some stencils. So. Oh, and I think I figured out my problem. If you guys have been watching my videos, they just cut out. Like, I'm in the middle of talking and the damn thing cuts out. Oh, it makes me so mad. But I went to my husband. I told you I was going to do that in my last video. And I went to my husband and I said, you know, what do you think the problem is? He said, put it on airplane mode. That way nothing can interrupt, because it happens to him too, like when he's texting and stuff. And he goes, nothing can interrupt on airplane mode. Now, so anybody else, that's a good thing to do. If you're going to do your videos with your camera, put it on airplane mode. But when it's on airplane mode, you can't hardly do anything else after that. So make sure you turn off the airplane mode when you're done filming, because it'll interrupt a bunch of other stuff. So anyway, and then that should solve the problem so those damn advertisements don't come through on my video and turn off my video. It was ridiculous. Okay, you guys, look how beautiful. I just love how that looks. Now, we're going to do a whole bunch more stuff to it, but I want to do a page where I actually don't do a bunch of stuff to it, where I almost leave this as the background. Isn't that cool? I am going to do that. I'm going to do another page. In fact, I'm going to save this because I'm going to use this exact stuff to do another page where that is just my background, because that's gorgeous, and do nothing else to it, and then do your focal point on top. I think that could be gorgeous. So I'm going to set that aside because I want to do that. But not for this video. Okay, we've already committed to what we're doing. Okay, see how I tell you, you start doing stuff and it can turn into something else completely. All right, so let's go to this page. Now this is what I was talking about. It was like when you just want to, this is how I pretty much start all my pages. This was a different thing I decided to do, but I mostly start all my pages by just adding, I'll show you. If you've been watching my videos, you know. Like, this is an Asian newspaper. There's a place here called Chinatown. And it is just awesome. I love going there. They have beautiful shops. Beautiful places to eat. You can go for dim sum. If you've ever gone for dim sum. Oh, it's delicious. It's like a buffet on wheels. And they come by with their little carts. And you just start choosing things. And you don't know how much everything is. But it's just like $1 or $2 each plate, and it's delicious. I don't know what the hell I'm eating, but I can tell you what, it's good. Real good. So anyway, when I go down there, I'm making this story long. When I go down there, I always go to, I always pick up, when I go for dim sum in Chinatown, I always make sure to pick up the newspapers. And this is an Asian newspaper right here. So I always pick those up, so I can use in my artwork, because I think Asian writing is just beautiful. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I think it's a form, it's such an art form, Asian writing. Look how gorgeous it is. I think it's beautiful. Okay, here's a map. Now this map right here is not a real map, it's scrapbook paper. So when you see, like, especially in the bulk section at Michael's, they'll have like they'll have map paper as scrapbook paper. Pick some of that stuff up so you can use it in your art. And if you're at a thrift store and you see maps or something like that, pick it up. Let's get some music note paper going. Same thing as this. Now this is real music note paper that I coffee dyed and baked in the oven. But you can always pick up music note paper as scrapbook paper, especially in the bulk sections. But in many paper pads, they have maps and they have music note paper. So, and I make sure to pick that stuff up when I see it. Especially at thrift stores, you guys. When you go to thrift stores, look for old music note books. And I've looked for them over the years, and I have quite a few. I have a nice little collection of music notebooks. So I can use that. I can carry it up and use it in my artwork. Okay, so I'm just going to keep pasting down. And look how I did that big old piece. Not everything has to be really small. I think the coffee staining really gives a cool look. Isn't that pretty? Just adds a little more, just adds another layer. Okay, and then let's put this, well, I don't know if I want that there. Let's do this. All right, let's go ahead and put Mod Podge here on the rest of this. There we go. I used a piece of napkin right there. I had it sitting on my desk, and I'm like, oh, that'll look good in there. Does not matter what you use. Okay, we'll put another piece of music note paper. And I need some, oh, this right here. I'm not really sure which language this is, but it's beautiful. I'll show it to you. I found a whole book of it. And that's it right there. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love different people's languages. I think it's gorgeous. So I like to put it in my artwork. And don't anyone get insulted. I am an equal opportunity book ripper. I rip up everything. Encyclopedias, dictionaries, everything. So it's not like I'm showing bias to any one certain thing. I rip up everything. And I look at it as I'm celebrating it. I'm putting it in my art. So it'll live. Otherwise, that book that I found it at a thrift store. That book would have ended up in the landfill if I didn't buy that. If someone didn't buy that book, it was going to end up in landfills. So now that book is not ending up in the landfill. It's ending up in my art, and it's going to live forever. That's how I see it. Oh. I want to get some more of that really cool writing. This one right here. Thrift stores are the best place to go to look for all kinds of books and stuff to use in your art. Also, thrift stores are a great place to go and get magazines so that you can use them as, you can tear out cool pictures and collage them together and use them as focal points in your art. It's another great place to go. The last time I went to the thrift store, this was when I was in Pismo Beach, California. Usually her magazines are around 99 cents, but I didn't know, I hadn't been there for a while because I live in Las Vegas and I went to Pismo Beach. So I went up to her and said, you know, how much are your magazines again? She goes, oh, they're 30 cents today. I'm like, oh, what? I didn't even ask questions. I just started I bought probably, I don't know, 30, 40 magazines that day. And so now I have a nice, I already had a lot of magazines anyway, but now I'm really stocked. So you'll run into these opportunities. Just always keep your eyes open and you'll run into the opportunity. Also, let your neighbors know that you like to collect magazines because you do artwork with them. And your neighbors will bring you magazines. I have had people bring me over, here's a stack of magazines. I was going to throw them away. And to me, those were like, that's like treasure. A stack of magazines. Oh. So many beautiful images in there waiting for me. Okay, we need some more music note paper. Put that right there. Look how beautiful this looks. Isn't that just gorgeous? Again, this could be a gorgeous background, doing nothing else to this. Let it dry and then put your focal point on it. Maybe doing some edging with a black black Stabilo or a black crayon just to frame it a little bit. But that could be gorgeous. Let me see what else I want to use on the bottom of here. Oh, some Asian writing would be cool. Oh, we're going to use this big old thing of Asian writing right here. Now that's going to hang off the edge. No big deal. We will trim it off later. Or maybe we won't. We'll see. That looks cool. Look at that Asian writing. It's so beautiful. Okay. So. Let me make sure you guys are still there. God, these two pages just look so cool. I love them just like this. That is going to be a thing I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm going to do something where I don't do anything else to the pages after that. Then we just find focal points and we use it just like this. Just like a patch. like patchwork for the background, because I think that's fabulous. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is let me clear off my, let me clear this up real quick. Eeks. Because I got a whole nother set of stuff to be adding. So just a second, guys, sorry. That's kind of how I work. I like to kind of clean up my mess a little bit before I start another mess. So, okay. Now, these are just magazine pieces. Let me just show you. All kinds of magazine pieces that I like the colors, okay? It's just I just like the colors. I'm not worried about what the images are or at all, because all of this stuff that's here on this page, especially this right here, is going to be enhanced with watercolor. This page right here is going to be enhanced too, but you're not going to see a lot of it. You're just going to see through it. It's going to be layers you see through, okay? So it doesn't matter what you choose. Just choose anything. Doesn't matter the colors at all, and just put them right on top. And you still want to see the other... You still want to see some of the other stuff here, but it's going to be kind of mixed up with this. And what happens is we're going to take, after this, no, even before it dries, while it's wet, I'm going to take some gesso and I'm going to put gesso right over this wet glue. What's going to happen is when the gesso dries, for one, it's going to crackle. That's going to be cool. So that's going to be another texture because I'm doing it over the wet glue. Number two, you're going to be able to see the layers underneath that white gesso. And that's what's cool. And then we're going to add more layers and more layers. And what happens is you look at that and you're like, God, it's so cool. How did they get, I see this and I see that. How is there so many layers? Well, this is how there's so many layers. We're building the layers up. This other side is going to be less layers, okay? We're not going to add anything else on top of this except some white gesso very lightly once it dries, so that we can really still see through it. And then we're going to enhance it with watercolors on this side. So that'll be in the next video. What time are we looking at? Cool. Okay, so we're gonna we're done on this one. Let me just finish putting some pieces in. So I explained what we're gonna do in the second part. In part two. In part two, we'll do what I just talked about. So we are done with this. What we have to do is we have to let all this dry, of course. All of this needs to dry, and that will take a while. So join me on part two, and we will continue on, okay? With doing 2 pages at once. Double the fun. All right, I'll see you guys in part 2. All right, talk to you guys soon. Bye.